For number 15, finding the correlation between the number of days absent and the final exam score for a student. To find the least square regression line, I'm going to do it in Excel. So copy to clipboard, hit OK. You can use StatCrunch if you prefer, but in Excel you paste it. And then if you select the data, you can insert the scatter plot. Click on any point, right click, and add the trend line, which is the least squares regression line. So it's on line for least square regression line. You can add the equation by clicking the checkbox, and you'll have the equation of the line right there on your chart, and that's the answer for part A. Interpret the slope for any line graph. The slope has the same basic interpretation. It's the change in the y value for a 1 unit change in the x value. So in this case, it's the average change in the final exam score for 1 additional absence. Interpret the y-intercept. It's the average final exam score for a student with no absences. So on the y-axis, you're at the y-intercept. It means x is 0, which in this case responds to no absences. So that's our predicted score for someone with no absences. Predict the final exam score for someone who misses 1 class period. You would plug the number 1 into the least squares regression line and see what value you get. Should come out with this value. Now our data had this value, so we just take our data's value minus the predicted value, and that is the residual. So 89 minus 87.63 gives you the residual. And it's a positive number because for 1 absence, we're actually above the trend line. And so when you take the data value minus the trend line, you get a positive, and it's because we're above the average. We're above the trend line. So the next part, you're just noting that it's above. And then the final part, you just pick the scatter graph that best fits the data up here and the trend line.